who is currently in Iceland in a high security prison, and she is languishing there for defending herself in a domestic violence situation against her husband. And she has her story to share with us today in a letter from her for International Women's Day. So please welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge that we're standing here on sacred ground, and elders past, present and future. And I know there's a lot coming up, some wonderful people. Just very briefly, my name's Jane Walker. I live on the Sunshine Coast. My daughter's Nara Walker. November 1st, 2017, she attempted to leave her husband. They're living in Iceland at the time. She chose the wrong time to leave. There was another man leaving at the same time from a party at their apartment. She'd been abused by him for 2 or 3 years, things like unknowingly being drugged, as well as being beaten up, as well as being raped. She's an international contemporary artist. She's a strong, resilient, intelligent woman, and found herself in this situation. As she left, her husband became enraged and thought she was leaving with this other guy. So he pushed him on his back down the stairs, broke 3 of his ribs, punched him up. Nara went and interceded to save this happening. And she was then punched, ribs broken, carried back into the apartment, which was on the 3rd floor and had a balcony. She was terrified what was going to happen next. Unbeknownst to her, he had spiked their shot glasses with cocaine. Her mouth was actually even numb. He restrained her. There's medical reports, her bruising on her arms, her broken ribs. He stuck his tongue into her mouth, and she bit down on it and took off the tip of it. She's alive. And unfortunately, though, she was charged with grievous bodily harm. There were 2 court cases, one in front of a magistrate. She was found guilty, although there were 4 lines of defence. She was given 12 months jail and a fine of about $110,000 US. She appealed this with support from family and friends, and they said no, and they extended her sentence to 18 months. We tried to go to the Supreme Court in Iceland. They wouldn't look at it, and she's now in high security prison. We have cards that link to a petition site. We started a petition 2 weeks ago. It's currently at 41,679 signatures. We're closing that off in a week and a half and handing that in with the plea for pardon. I'm hoping to get a pardon for her. She's a creative soul, as we all are, and her world is a corridor and a room and another square room and a yard that has a very crooked-looking small pine tree that's about this high. She's okay, and she's written something for International Women's Day that she wants to get out there. We've had support from all around the world. Her story's been in the UK, it's been here, lots of places. She says of that, though, that it's only because she injured a man that her story's out there. And if she'd just been beaten up, it wouldn't be out there anymore. Here's her letter. Letter to the people on the International Women's Day. I have it in Icelandic too, if there's anyone here in Iceland. From Iceland? No. Today we unite and continue the fight. Across the borders and waters, in all languages, a tone for change is shared. We celebrate how far we have come, remembering the women before us who paved the way, giving us this platform to speak on this day. I refuse to stand in silence against domestic violence. Our stories become our voices. It is time to be heard. Let's speak louder than ever before, for the women senselessly murdered, for the women who continue to live their lives in fear, for their children and the generations to come. In solidarity, we can lift one another and shatter the shame. On this day, let us stand together and break the silence. No woman alone, I stand with you. And she wanted me to share that with everybody, and she's very grateful for this support. She has escalating anxiety from all this and PTSD, and knowing that people are supporting her and the petition is rising, there's a chance for a pardon. This is keeping her sane, keeping her going, and her mother. And I'm very proud that she defended herself, because if she hadn't, she wouldn't have a story to tell. And a lot of women are in that situation. They don't make it through. So thank you for being here. Could you hold up your sunflowers, please, as a sign for all women in domestic violence situations? Let's help them out. Sometimes you don't know who to talk to. You can always find someone. There's lots of social media sites now. There's lots of places you can go. Just please reach out. Don't suffer it. Don't take it any longer. Thank you.